Glad to be hosting. You guys have heard me call the regional thing. It's probably the most difficult thing we do anymore. Getting out of regionals, getting through the round of 16 and into the round of 8 is kind of the equivalent of the old Super 6 back in the days. I mean, and not only did we trim the numbers a little bit at the top, but the expansion of really good teams in terms of 25 years ago, for a lot of teams, regionals could kind of be an afterthought. And so now you get into this situation where there's a lot of good teams showing up here in Baton Rouge, and it should be exciting for our fans. It should be a good weekend. I know it's Easter weekend, and I wish that wasn't the case, but hopefully our fans can still come out, not just take it for granted on Thursday or Saturday. Make sure that you come out and support us, because we're going to need that energy in the PMAC to get through. We fully intend to get through, and excited about the opportunity to host it here for the first time since 2019. And not sure how that works all the time, because we bid on it all the time. But there's been other people that have had it 3 times since we last had it. So we're glad to finally get an opportunity to have it here in what I believe is the best environment for collegiate gymnastics in America.
Yeah, Jay, what do you remember about that 2019 regional? What was special about it, especially it being here, and just with the attendance records you guys have set over the last few years, 13,000 averaging, just what are you expecting as far as a postseason type of environment in the PMAC?
What I'm expecting and what I'd like to have are maybe 2 different things. Right now, I got an update this morning. I think we've sold about 5,000 tickets, and I'd like that to be closer to 9 or 10. For whatever reason, the regional meets are a tougher sell. I don't know if it's it's not part of a season ticket package, and it's the NCAA dictates the prices, and so we're kind of just facilitators here. We're not. It's not really our event, and so. I'm hopeful that the fans that get in there, and hopefully we'll have a huge walk up, and maybe some students will stick around for the weekend at least until Saturday's over. That we'll have an electric environment in there and be able to feed on that energy that we've grown so accustomed to having in the PMAC. But I don't recall a whole lot about 2019. The first part of your question, I remember Sarah Finnegan was on that team and she was sick, and I remember it being stressful. That was the first year I think we went to this format, and Utah was here, and it was a tough field, just like this one is coming in here this weekend. So don't remember a whole lot except that we got out, and I think we finished – the year we finished second. It was one of the years we finished second in the country. So it was a good team, and we had a good experience hosting here.
Haleigh, you've had a lot of success in regionals over your time as an athlete. Just – how do you use your postseason experience to help the girls that you're now coaching?
Mm-hmm. I think I say it every single time that this is just another competition, sorry, and to not make the moment bigger than it needs to be. And that's what I'm really trying to preach to them right now. It's yes, it's a very, very stressful time of year, but we've done these routines so many times, and just setting them up to do what they do every single day. And it's something we're looking forward to, and I'm excited to see them start reaching their goals.
After sort of sitting on it, recovering, and watching film, what would you guys say is the biggest takeaway from Tulsa moving forward?
You want to go?
You got it.
That's a difficult question to really answer without it being rooted in emotion, because you want to win, right? But and you're disappointed when you don't. But I don't really feel like we were all that bad. We had a lot of things going on behind the scenes that were that had to do with ailment and injury and things that we don't always come in here and talk about, because we're not trying to, make it a public thing in all cases. But we came back from SECs with 6 kids that didn't come to practice all last week, and had some injuries in addition to that. So we were, debating whether to leave kids at the hotel. It was just a lot of stuff that can kind of clutter. So I felt like the kids on the whole did a great job. They competed hard. We were leading or right at the lead for the first three events. We knew that Florida would go to that last event on bars. They're the best bar team in the country, and they showed it again that night. And we knew we needed a little more cushion going into that final rotation. But at the same time, that meet could have gone any direction. It could have been any team on any given night, and that's the way it goes when you've got the top four teams in the country on the same floor. And hopefully, if things go well, we're going to see that happen again. So I told our team it's not a final destination for us. It certainly wasn't. We've already had this conversation, but our final destination still lies ahead of us, and we're excited about the opportunity to go do it. And Haleigh touched on it. Like, getting right now, less is more from a physical standpoint. I just want them to believe in their capability and be the team they've been all year long. If they do that, they're going to be pleased with the results. If you start overthinking and trying to measure and trying to do something extraordinarily better than what you did 2 weeks ago, then that's a trap. That's trap thinking. You've got to be positive with them. We've got to be aggressive in our mindset. We don't have to be perfect. There's not a team out there that's perfect on any given night. So to think that we have to be perfect in order to accomplish something is flawed thinking. So we're really focused on making sure that they're as confident as they can be going into this weekend and then hopefully beyond.
So what did the week off do for you? You said you had a lot of people who were kind of banged up and stuff. And where are you now? You feel confident you'll have everyone that you need?
We got
to
a full boat today. That's all I know.
Okay. Yeah.
It was some sort of stomach bug that was running through everybody, and it lasted a whole lot longer than we had anticipated. It wasn't a 48-hour kind of thing. It was pretty rough on a few of them, and then trying to figure out, do we need to separate people, and is this thing going to linger and be a problem? But for the most part, I think everybody's beyond it. The ones that were sick were back in practice on Saturday, and Kalia's feeling better. At SEC's, we were warming her up in touch, not sure whether she was going to go. We've got her in a better place at the moment, and a couple other things that we've just been nursing along. So we have a full boat today at practice, and I've learned the hard way, just take it one day at a time. Y'all want me to you want me to predict what lineup? See, I was on a call this morning. NCAA wants our lineup already. I don't know. I know what I want it to be, but we'll wait and see until we get past Wednesday before we start worrying about what that looks like.
Okay, and Jay, you usually, you did this last year. I heard you talk about it a little bit this year too. You compare the regionals to the metaphor of a meat grinder.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about that and how you're expecting the girls to sort of push through that meat grinder this weekend.
Maybe I shouldn't call it that anymore. I've said that in sort of a euphoric state of mind after we've gotten out the last couple of years. It's just tough. It's just tough. There's a lot of good teams that now are highly competitive, and the regional thing, the regional format with the top two from each session advancing to the round of 16 on Saturday. It's just more difficult than it used to be. It used to be a one meet dog and pony show, and top two teams. There were 6 teams at a regional site, and you could get out, and top 12 made semifinals, and so it's just different. It's just a lot more difficult from a physical and mental standpoint. It's just more taxing and fatiguing. So, but we've prepared for it. It's why we did the 2-meet weekend going downtown when we did after Alabama. We train that way. We do inter squads the day before competitions. We do things that get us prepared for a 2-meet weekend, and so, I don't think it's literally a meat grinder, but it is tough, and it's exciting for the sport. The format is really good for the sport and for the exposure.
I'm glad you're here, because he can't honestly answer this question. Having been a gymnast, 2 meets in 3 days.
What is that supposed to mean?
She's a gymnast. She was pretty good at this. 2 meets in 3 days. How do you have to pace yourself, but yet trying to be at your very best for both meets. Because like Jay said, you got to be on. You can't just think the regional semifinal is just a cakewalk. So how do you, as the gymnast, how do you prepare for that close proximity of those meets?
Yeah, I think just doing everything outside. Like last week we had, like there was no competition, but I think what was most important, I kind of told some of them, and Jay tells them all the time, to like, you can't lay in your bed all day long. Obviously you're tired, obviously you need to recover and get what you need, but if you lay down all day long, you're going to be more tired walking into the gym the next day. So really telling them, come in, get recovery, go in the hot tub, go for a walk, like do something to keep your body moving without like beating up your body. But I honestly think the second day for me personally was always the better meet day, because you are a little bit more tired, but I think it kind of turns your brain off a little bit more and you just do your normal gymnastics and you go on autopilot, and I feel like always the second meet was better. But goodness.
Is this meet podium style, right? No?
No.
On the floor?
It ought to be. I mean, if I would like us to be, I would like once you get to postseason for everything to be on podium, since semis and finals are. I think it should be uniform throughout. But in order to do that, you probably got to go to neutral sites for the regionals, because not everybody's on-campus arenas can hold a podium. So I don't know if we're going to get there.
And just kind of going back to the whole PMAC question, outside of just the fans and the energy, just being in their home arena on equipment that they've worked on so much, just how does that benefit, your team going into this?
Well, it should make for a more comfortable environment, but we can't just take it for granted. We can't walk in here thinking we can just walk through this thing. It's just not the reality of it. So I want it to be comfortable. That's why we enjoy hosting. Being in our environment on our equipment should be an advantage for us. But we still have to have our minds right, same way we do for every Friday night that we're in here against an SEC opponent or whatever the case may be. So we really can't take that for granted. We can't really overemphasize that, even though, it is nice to – it's kind of an intangible thing. The equipment meets the specs everywhere you go, but it, in some cases it does feel a little different in different places. And so we are familiar with our own equipment, and that hopefully plays out as an advantage for us.
Haleigh, how have you gotten used to being a coach? I think some of your teammates, you're the same age as people you're giving instructions to, so
Seriously.
they said that might take a little bit getting used to. Have you gotten more comfortable with it? Have they gotten more comfortable with it? Do you think you're going to coach for a while? Or
I'll answer the last one first. Yes, I do want to coach for a while. I think kind of in the beginning, I knew I wanted to coach, but like actually being in it this year, I'm like, okay, this is something I can see myself doing long term. But the girls have been great, getting to learn from the best head coach in the country. So it's been seriously an honor, and just very grateful that everybody's been so welcoming and just so understanding, and like we're learning together. And like you said, that some of them are my age, but the respect they have for me and the respect I have for them is just there. So I think that's what made it a lot easier of a transition.
It did, and I'll add to that because, we put a little governor on her, only because you never know when you're hiring somebody right out of college. I mean, I told y'all in this room before, I wouldn't have done it if it had been anybody other than her, just because I trust the character of the individual and the level of respect that she had from her teammates, and I felt like it could go well if we managed it right. So as this goes, her role is going to continue to expand. I mean, she's going to, there were certain little things that we limited her just to make sure that she got her feet wet and grew accustomed to the role that she was playing, but she's done that flawlessly. So I probably could have already done it, but just in the interest of keeping things seamless, go through the season and then next year see her role expand and give her more autonomy on an event than she's had this year and be able to let her grow into the coach that I know she is and that she'll be long term. Well, Nat stayed here as a grad assistant for a couple of years and was with us, and then left, took a full-time job at a Big Ten school at Penn State, and then came back and had already had a little bit of experience at that point. Yeah.
What's sort of been the team's motivation heading into the postseason? Do you guys have like a new team motto?
I mean, is there something I'm not aware of? If they've got something going on in the locker room, I'm not aware of it.
Right.
I mean, it's not a new team motto. We don't change gears for the postseason. If we do that, then we're we're really kind of setting ourselves up. So we've just got to be the team we've been. It's enough. If we do that, that's what put us in the number 1 seed at this regional. That's what put us as the number 2 overall national seed. That's what got us to the place that we're at. We've got great kids, great talent. We should have great confidence. We should be able to walk into any arena and feel good about what we're about to do, and that's really where we're focused.
Yeah, it's not uncommon for you guys to have a gymnast who's comes into the NCAA's number 1, this number 1 of that, having won SEC titles. Present company, I can think of someone. How do you think Kaylin will handle that? And there's more spotlight on her this year than last year, and she's coming off of SEC's. Well, she won 2 titles at SEC, so I mean, she's number 1 in 3 things. So it's a lot.
I mean, I expect Kaylin and everybody on our team to do just what I said, walk into every arena with a great level of confidence based on the battery of work that they've put in. The sample size is what it is. We are who it says we are. We just have to show up and do it and just be our normal. And Kaylin, Amari, Kalia, Connor, Zeiss, I can go down the whole list of everybody on the team. That needs to be consistent throughout. It's no different for Chio than it is anybody else. You guys are the only ones that want to put a spotlight on her. There's nobody doing that in our building. Thanks a lot, Rab.
Nice one.
I guess just what are you guys most excited about, knowing that there's only a couple meets left? What are you hoping to see this weekend?
I think just wanting them to go out there and do what they do every single day. We see them practice these routines flawlessly every single day, and just to put a full meet together because we know what they're capable of. And I don't know, I'm just excited for them. They have a lot of fight and a lot of grit, and they're just not going to give up, and they're just going to keep fighting all the way through. So I just want to see that all come together on one night.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot more to add to that. I mean, it's just an extension of what we've already been doing. I want to see the same things that I've been seeing. They have done a great job all year long when they've had a mistake, not letting it snowball. Starting in the first meet of the season, and we've seen, and we'd love to have a meet where we just breeze through everything, but this time of year, that's just not the likelihood of how it goes for anybody. So you just go out there and you put it all out there. Like I said, our confidence should be brimming. We should be at be in a good place mentally and emotionally, and just go attack, compete free, and fearless, and enjoy this. This is what you work for. This is not supposed to be something that we treat differently than what we've done all year long. This is the whole goal, is to get to this point and get it and get in there and mix it up with the best teams and see where we land. And we do it on an annual basis, and we've proven that we're one of those teams that's in the mix every single year, and they ought to be able to enjoy it and not have it become something other than that. But you can never make these moments bigger than what they are. You make that mistake and you're setting a trap for yourself. That's that whole result-oriented thinking that we do our best to just stay present, stay in the process, and not think too far ahead.
Go Tigers.